paper money, which is on its way out, and electronic money, which is already here. But we can overturn it and replace it with dinar and dirham.
Under Gaddafi's rule, Libya attained the highest standard of living in Africa. It was the only debt-free country in Africa. He raised the literacy rate from 20% to 83%. He built one of the finest free healthcare systems in the world, therefore raising the life expectancy from 45 to 75 years old. Gaddafi gave women full access to education and employment and enabled women to serve in armed forces. Gaddafi provided to its citizens what is denied to many Americans or Europeans: free public health care, free education. If you don't believe me, check out the WHO and UNESCO data. Nelson Mandela called Muammar Gaddafi one of the 20th century's greatest freedom fighter. The foreign powers conspired to murder Gaddafi. He was targeted by the CIA, France and the UK since the 1970s. He was an enemy of the Dajjal system, an influential enemy, and had to be taken out.
So, I mean, that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
No, I'm sure it did.
The US tried to oust him by convincing Egypt's Sadat to invade Libya in 1977. In 1984, the CIA supported as well as trained a special commando rebel unit which tried to depose him. Then the USA went even further and bombed his home in Tripoli in 1986 in retaliation for the bombing of a nightclub by the Libyan secret agents. In 1996, the MI6 tried to assassinate him when a hired hitman attempted to throw a grenade at him during a political speech.
احنا حنقاتل عن بترولنا للنهاية ولا يمكن لن تستطيع السيطرة عليه أبدا لأن الشعب الليبي
2011 uprising was initiated and supported by Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates and Qatar. May Allah trap those leaders of those countries with the storm of Ad. Curse be upon them for betraying the Ummah. But why did those countries betray Gaddafi? Gaddafi feverishly supported the Palestinian cause. Gaddafi hated all monarchs of the Gulf, accusing them of being puppets and slaves to the West. Gaddafi supported anti-Zionist, Pan-Africanist and black civil rights movements. Gaddafi's main threat to the international bankster cartel was his plan for a common African currency, the gold-backed Libyan dinar, which would have replaced the all fiat-issued US dollar as well as the euro.
According to some, it's about protecting civilians.
And our resolve is clear. The people of Libya must be protected.
Others say it's about oil.
The only reason they're interested with Libya is about the oil. You think we'd be in Iraq if the major export there was broccoli?
But some are convinced intervention in Libya is all about currency, specifically Gaddafi's plan to introduce the gold dinar, a single African currency made from gold, a true sharing of the wealth.
It's one of these things that you have to plan almost in secret, because as soon as you say you're going to change over from the dollar to something else, you're going to be targeted. There were two conferences on this, one in 96 and another one in the year 2000, called the World Mataba Conference, organized by Gaddafi. And everybody was interested. I think most countries in Africa were keen.
Gaddafi didn't give up. In the months leading up to the military intervention, he called on African and Muslim nations to join together to create this new currency that would rival the dollar and euro. They would sell oil and other resources around the world only for gold dinars. It's an idea that would shift the economic balance of the world. Countries' wealth would depend on how much gold they have, not how many dollars they trade. And Libya has 144 tons of gold. The UK has double that, but 10 times the population.
If Gaddafi had an intent to try to reprice his oil or whatever else the country was selling in the global markets and accept something else as a currency, or maybe launch a gold dinar currency, any move such as that would certainly not be welcomed by the power elite today who are responsible for controlling the world's central banks. So yes, that would certainly be something that would cause his immediate dismissal and the need for other reasons to be brought forth for removing him from power.
It's happened before. In 2000, Saddam Hussein announced Iraqi oil would be traded in euros, not dollars. Sanctions and an invasion followed. Some say because the Americans were desperate to prevent OPEC from transferring oil trading in all its member countries to the euro. A gold dinar would have had serious consequences for the world financial system, but may also have empowered the people of Africa, something black activists say the US wants to avoid at all costs.
Gaddafi wrote the Green Book. His political philosophy advocates more political authorities to the people and masses, free healthcare, housing and education, equal rights to women and blacks, freeing them from being slaves to the corporate elites, foreign powers, bankers, and the political establishment. So, people, instead of being slaves to huge multinationals, they could form their own worker cooperatives and own their own houses and cars without massive debt. Most of the money in our economy is created by banks in the form of bank deposits, the numbers that appear in your account. Banks create new money out of thin air whenever they make loans. 97% of the money in the economy today is created by banks, whilst just 3% is created by the government. Banks can create money through the accounting they use when they make loans, the numbers that you see when you check your account balances. They're just account entries in the bank's computer, that's all. Every new loan that a bank makes creates new money. While this is often hard to believe at first, but it's common knowledge to the people that manage the banking system. The money in circulation today has no intrinsic value. For a just system, look at the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It's dinar and dirhams, gold and silver, something with intrinsic value. The time is close when paper money will be wiped off.
And in our small communities, we'll have small micro markets. And in our micro markets, we will not allow the use of the haram paper money and electronic money. In our micro markets, we're going to use dinar and dirham. And when dinar and dirham are in short supply, or the police come and seize all our dinar and dirham, then we will turn to wheat and barley and dates and salt and rice and sugar and what. They can't ban that, can they? So this is my solution. And right here in this hall, I have students. Right here in this hall now I have students who are working actively to do precisely that right here in Malaysia.
يلي لا تتصدقونا في الظلام من أنتم؟ أنا مقاتل مجاهد مناضل ثائر من أنتم؟ نحن قاومنا جبروت أمريكا من أنتم؟ تصفقون لإسقاطكم الأمريكان يخدمون الشيطان قد تندمون يوم لا ينفع الندم أنتم تواجهون صخرة صماء صخرة صلبة دقت ساعة العمل دقت ساعة الزحف دقت ساعة الانتصار إلى الآن لا رجوع اليوم العالم شبر شبر